Operated in total secrecy. Which way is it coming? Where is it? How about that, ladies and gentlemen? All the Air Force bases in New Mexico, the F-117 stealth fighter being piloted by Lieutenant Colonel J.J. Johnson of the 49th Fighter Wing. In many cases, the F-117 Nighthawk will make appearances at air shows. They'll have several jets out over the course of a weekend doing flybys at air shows. Here, we get to see them take off, we get to see them land as well. From the left, an airplane that in the first years of its service actually in all years of its service has been able to operate with absolute impunity to enemy radar. Without being shot down. This is one of the first aircraft to use low observable stealth technology in order to complete its mission. By using the strange angles and strange shape of this airplane, it deflects radar signals that are aimed at it away from the aircraft, but not back to the radar transmitting receiving antenna. These strange angles, according, in addition to the radar absorbent materials, or RAM, not computer RAM, radar absorbent materials, make it nearly invisible to enemy radar. If you look at a radar cross-section or a radar signature on a radar screen from the F-117 Nighthawk compared to a 3-ton panel truck, well, the 3-ton panel truck would have a radar signature or cross-section about the size of a quarter. A Boeing 747 jumbo jet about the size of a dime. A Boeing B-52 It is so stealthy, so invisible to radar that the maintainers of the aircraft have to put warts on it. That's what they call them, warts, or small pieces of metal to actually give it some radar reflectivity so it can be tracked in the United States airspace system. The pilot again, Lieutenant Colonel J.J. Johnson from Phoenix, Arizona, is flying the aircraft. It's going to make another pass. So I want you to get your cameras ready and get a picture of this particular aircraft. I was talking with Doug McDaniel, and I say it's been able to operate with just virtual impunity, and that's not quite accurate. Actually, one of them was shot down. Doug, tell us about that.
Well, it happened in Bosnia, Herzegovina, and as far as I'm concerned, if you put enough BBs up in the air, it's going to hit something sooner or later. And that's probably the only way the Bosnian missiles actually hit the stealth fighter. The pilot was rescued within about 8 hours, and it was just a lucky shot. Ladies and gentlemen, from the left, every Iraqi bad guy's worst nightmare, F-117.
He's going to pitch up to land now. And when it lands, it's going to deploy what is called a drogue chute to help it slow down. This airplane was developed by the Advanced Development Project Office of Lockheed Aircraft. What they commonly call in the industry is the skunk works. And it was developed by the same team that developed the P-38 Lightning in World War II, which was flown by America's leading ace, Lieutenant Richard Baum. They also developed the Air Force's first operational jet fighter, the P-80, and later the F-80 Shooting Star. It also developed the F-104 Starfighter, the U-2 spy plane, and the SR-71 Blackbird. And they did them all under budget and within the time period allotted. And in many cases, they took off-the-shelf components from other airplanes to make it work. In the case of the F-117 Nighthawk, as strange as it was, as strange as this airplane is, it used the landing gear from the F-15 Eagle built by McDonnell Douglas at the time. Here's the low approach. Take a look. You can see the light on the landing gear, and as Colonel Johnson gets down near the ground, let's see if he's going to keep it low approach. And he's got it low. Watch the gear come up. The lights are off. The gears are up. The power's on. And here goes the Nighthawk for one more pass. F-404 jet engines, each delivering 10,800 pounds of thrust. This airplane is so advanced that the pilot can preload all of his mission information into a black box in his briefing room. He can come out to the airplane, put the black box into a slot in the aircraft, take off, engage the mission computer, and fly it hands-off as a passenger if he'd like to, all the way to the point where he's ready to release his weapons. And when he does, it can carry typically two guided bombs, and then in the time it releases its weapons, its radar signature, once the weapons bay door opens, it then becomes a huge radar target for enemy radar. So it's designed to be able to release both of those weapons in about 2.5 seconds from door open, release weapons, doors closed, slam them. Doug McDaniel, he's turning downwind and now turning base.
Well, Rob, I had the first air show I went to with the stealth fighter came in, was down in our home air show in New Orleans, Louisiana, at the Naval Air Station, and Fell Chase. And everybody anxiously awaited the arrival of the F-117, and as he's approaching, just like you see now on short final with the lights, it was a very humid, hazy day in New Orleans, and basically the aircraft just appeared all of a sudden on a short final, a black ghost coming out of the misty gray sky, and the vortices that were kicking up, and the haze was swirling around. It was awesome.
And there you see the drogue chute as it's being deployed. This helps slow the airplane down without burning the brakes off. Once he gets down a little farther down the runway, he'll pop that drogue chute loose and then taxi off, and one of the maintainers from the F-117 or here at Andrews will go out and retrieve that chute.